Welcome all Xbox players. If you're seeing this right now, as you guys know, Helldivers 2 officially released for Xbox, and honestly, I just wanted to make this quick little guide real quick for any Xbox players who might have joined the fight today. All I gotta really say is welcome to the Helldivers. And well, it's nice to have you aboard. So let's get started. First, I want to go over the basics of Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2 is a co-op horde shooter in which up to 4 players can drop down onto a planet at once. Now, one thing you need to know before you get started. Friendly fire is enabled. So you got to be careful with shooting your teammates. Second, your stratagems are going to be extremely important to you. You definitely want to make sure you probably choose the right stratagem for whichever mission you want to go for. And 3, what was I going to say for 3? Oh wait, ship upgrades. 3, oh wait, and samples, fudge. Okay. 3, ship upgrades and samples. In these maps, you will be able to find things called samples, and they come in 3 different rarities: common, rare, and super. These samples, which we can go over here real quick, will be used to upgrade your ship. And these upgrades will give your ship, and not only like a cosmetic look, but also like your in-game like weapons or like stratagems. It'll boost the power of them, or like do stuff like reduce cool time. Like for example, like this one right here. If you have any backpack stratagems with you, like supply packs and stuff, it will lower the cooldown for them by like 10%. So that is extremely important. Now, when it comes for starting off, the armors you'll have, if you pick the Super Citizen Edition, let me go to my armor real quick. You will get this armor, Savior of the Free, and like other stuff with it. And you will also have this armor, the starting armor. I just want to say this. Even if you have the standard edition of Helldivers, like you only start off with this armor is still extremely good because of extra padding. It gives you pretty much heavy armor levels of defense while being medium armor. And for the Super Citizens armor, Democracy Protects is still an extremely solid armor because of the passive, because it gives you a 50% chance to not die when getting hit by a fatal blow. If you're super lucky, you could get hit by like a tank cannon, get blown back, and get hit like get impacted by a wall or something like that, and you still have a chance to survive that at like 1 HP. And the best part about it too is that it also prevents bleeding, which I'm going to explain here in a bit. But I just want to say though, if you bought the standard edition, this is still perfectly fine. Even if you bought the Super Citizens Edition and you don't want to really run this, you could still perfectly just run the standard armor here, and you'll be perfectly fine either way. Now, when it comes to the things I just mentioned about bleeding, in Helldivers 2, there is a mechanic where your character can get injuries when fighting enemies. And this can happen in all the body parts except the head. If you get shot on the head or something like that, I'm going to be honest with you, most likely you will die. You will definitely die like instant KO. But I need to explain like the severity of this. If you're running a normal armor, and not one with like Democracy Protects, if you get injured in the chest, your character will start bleeding. And this could be bad for a lot of reasons, but mainly because of the fact that it'll just sometimes rapidly drain your HP until you're dead. And what's even worse, if you get like a chest chest injury and you're low HP, most likely you will die unless you're really quick with your stimming. Which, by the way, in order to heal yourself, you have these things called stims. You start with usually 4 if you have this specific booster, which I will get to that in a bit. But yeah, that thing will help heal you. Usually on keyboard and mouse, it's V. I don't know about console, so I'm really sorry about that. But anyways, let me continue. If you are bleeding from the chest, just immediately heal yourself. Now, injuries to the arms and legs. Arm injuries can be pretty bad, mainly for the accuracy of your weapons. Because if you guys don't know, every weapon you start off with has very specific stats. For example, like horizontal recoil, vertical recoil, and sway, and ergonomics. If your arms get wounded or injured, the sway on your weapon will make it extremely hard for you to aim down accurately. Because of the fact that even if you go into like a first person mode to like aim down your weapon will be swaying an extreme amount if your arms are broken. It'll make it much harder for you to aim, and I would heavily recommend just stimming if your arms do get wounded, just because of the fact that your accuracy, and especially if you use a heavy weapon, your accuracy will just go down a tremendous amount. Leg injuries, in my opinion, are one of the most severe injuries you can get, especially if you are fighting like one of the enemy factions known as the Terminids, because if your legs are injured, you cannot run, and that leads you to usually getting like killed by the enemies just catching up to you and just swarming you. So if you do get a leg injury, just immediately stim as well, just because of the fact that, well, it could end up costing you your life. Now, specific armors like the ODST one that recently came out today do have passives that protect your legs from getting injured, so I don't need to worry about, like my legs being injured and not being able to run. Now, let's talk about something that's also pretty important, and that is boosters. And boosters, where they come from these things called war bonds. Now, when you start off in Helldivers 2, you will start off with the Helldivers Mobilize war bond. And you'll be able to buy multiple armors from here that all have different skills. Like, for example, this one has Scout. It's a light armor, mainly used to like track and stuff like that. But in order to get boosters, you have to progress through the war bond until you see something like this. Now, this one right here, what this does, this allows your Helldiver to come fully stocked with ammo, grenades, and stims. This is always a priority number 1 booster. This is a booster that you always want to run in your party, so everybody has just maximum, like stims and like ammo and all that. You still can get one more. You can get this Vitality one, which gives pretty much just a flat HP increase. That's what the Vitality one pretty much does. It's just a flat HP increase. And there is, I think, 2 more. Yeah, well, there's 3 more in here. There is this one, which makes your radar a lot better. Stamina enhancement, well, that's kind of self-explanatory. It means that you'll be able to recover stamina a lot quicker. Because what stamina does is that you have a limited amount of stamina that you can run with, and then if you run out, you have to start walking and you have to recover your stamina. Stamina enhancement it boosts your capacity while also boosting its recovery speed. This one is definitely a really good one, especially for worlds like the Terminids where you need to constantly run. And muscle enhancement, this one just like flat out allows you to just, for biomes that might have like a lot of foliage in them, this will allow you to move through them pretty easily. Now, this war bond, I will tell you right now, will give you a lot of good weaponry and overall decent armors. One of the best ones in here, I would definitely say, is the Liberator Penetrator, the Diligence Counter Sniper, and then the Scorcher. This is our energy weapon, by the way. This shoots plasma. And I need to like preference this too. Certain weapons have special categorizations with them. So for example, you have your assault rifles, but some of these weapons might come with like special like weapon traits. Like for example, the pacifier comes with the stun trait, meaning that if you shoot enemies, it might stun the enemies for a little bit, getting them off your back, a bit of crowd control. While other weapons, for example, like let's say this one, like the Cookout or Breaker Incendiary, have fire bullets in them, or fire pellets, that'll light enemies on fire and deal damage over time. And then you have these ones which have the explosive trait, which means these do AoE damage when you fire them. And this applies to like some of these ones, like right here, like the explosive ones as well that fire like explosive rounds. Secondaries do have the exact same thing, and each one comes with its benefits and trade-offs. So that's like the most important thing. Now, when it comes to war bonds and stuff like that, you obviously start off with this one, but you might notice there are other ones you can get. I just want to preface this right now. You can grind for these war bonds in game, though I don't know how good the grinding is. I think if you were to grind legitly and you were able to get a good squad going, it might take you around 2 to 3 hours for you to buy a war bond, one of these premium war bonds. Personal recommendations I would give is definitely Democratic Detonation, or probably Democratic Detonation or Control Group. These are the ones I probably would heavily recommend, but honestly, it's your choice. None of, like, all of these, though, are pretty decent war bonds, except maybe this one. Maybe you want to get this one last. But all of these ones are pretty decent war bonds, though. They all come with pretty good weapons. For example, this one comes with the sickle cutting edge, which is like literally a laser assault rifle. If you manage your ammo right, has infinite ammo. So it's like, it's no joke. These are pretty good. Some of these war bonds have really good weapons in them. Now, when it comes to playing Helldivers and it comes to difficulty, Helldivers is as difficulty as you want it to be. But I would heavily recommend, because you're obviously going to start at, trivial, and then you're going to work your way up. When it comes to leveling up in Helldivers, one thing I want to say is that each difficulty, the higher you go, has way larger XP multipliers. If you're just starting off, what I would probably recommend is that maybe you just do like a couple of like maybe medium missions, maybe, to just get warmed up, but then immediately try to like go up in like difficulty. And the reason why you want to go up is because these difficulties, the XP multiplier gets significantly larger. So for medium, it's 25%. Challenging, it's 50%. Hard, it's 100%. Wait, sorry, it's 75%. My bad. Extreme is 100%, and suicide mission is 150%. And it keeps going up, because after like suicide, the thing is, the XP multiplier, instead of going up by 25%, it goes up by 50%. So impossible is now 200%. And then Helldive is 250, and Super Helldive is 300%. Now, when it comes to like grinding XP and medals, if you want the best, like most casual experience, like somewhat casual, still some difficulty, but like still good progress all around, I would heavily recommend, once you reach it, Suicide Mission. Now, the only reason why I recommend Suicide Mission is because Suicide Mission provides first a 150% XP multiplier, plus a decent amount of medals for each mission you complete. This, I will say, in my opinion, is like the best all-rounder difficulty, because you get a really good XP multiplier along with pretty decent rewards. However, when you do get better at the game and you start learning a lot more about the game's mechanics, I would heavily recommend, if you can, doing Helldive or Super Helldive difficulty. Now, the only reason why I heavily recommend doing maybe Super Helldive difficulty is, first, the medals you get is significantly better. You can see it's 9, 12, 15 compared to Suicide Missions 6, 8, and 10. So way better. But the main thing that's really good about Super Helldive is the XP multiplier. The XP multiplier and the sample count is super high in Super Helldive, because Super Helldive has obviously a 300% multiplier for XP, meaning each mission you do, if you do things efficiently, will like sorry, I'm like, wow, I'm stroking right now, will constantly be around 2000 XP or more Now there are some missions that only have like one mission, like a simple defense missions, and those will always at least like guarantee I think around like 500 to 600. But I would still heavily recommend Super Helldive, mainly because of the fact that it will just flat out give you the most XP and allow you to rapidly progress through your levels if you wish to go down that route. If you want a more casual experience, like I said, I would heavily recommend Suicide Mission, as it still provides a relatively decent XP multiplier and a very decent sample count as well. Now, when it comes to stratagems, if you want to unlock more stratagems, you want to go over here to your ship management and you'll go over here. You'll be able to like buy these like the more you level up. Some of these will be locked behind levels, but they will cost requisition slips, which is the main currency you'll be using to buy these stratagems. Now, one thing I do gotta note, some of these stratagems are locked behind some of the war bonds. Every stratagem you see right here, so all the stratagems you see right here, these are the ones you can buy from just leveling up. All of these ones right about here. So everything you see right here, up to the mech over here, you can buy without buying any war bonds. All these other stratagems right here, these ones you do need to buy a war bond first before you can purchase these stratagems. If you ask me personally, some of these are pretty good. Some of them are just, like for, just like patriotism. Gotta support democracy when you can, right? But some of these are pretty good. Some of the premium war bonds do have some pretty good stratagems, like this one, like the warp pack or the laser sentry. However, like I said, those are locked behind the premium war bonds, which you have to grind like either super credits or you have to spend real money if you want to get them really quickly. Now, one thing I will say outright, it will take around 2 to 3 hours to grind a premium war bond. If you did buy the Super Citizen pack, the Super Citizen Edition, you will get a premium war bond token, and you will be able to buy at least one of these premium war bonds. If you ask me personally, I would recommend maybe spending your first premium token at least on Democratic Detonation if you did buy the Super Citizens Edition. And if you're standard edition, if you wanted to just grind, you're gonna take the free to play route, I would recommend just getting the Democratic Detonation first. If you do plan to spend money, honestly, it's ultimately up to you. Like for me, I didn't spend any money on the Halo thing. I just grinded the super credits out for this. It did take a couple of hours to get the like the 1,500 super credits. But in my opinion, though, it was definitely worth it. I love Halo, so yeah, there's like that really. But yeah, I feel like that's all you really need to know about Helldivers 2 when starting off. And for my fellow Helldivers who are watching this, welcome to the team, brother. And I hope to see you on the field. Anyways, guys, have a good one.